Big Daddy Veldora. I've been getting a lot of questions about Veldora. Is Veldora really a must summon? Can I skip him? What's the deal? I got you guys. I'm gonna be telling you all of it right here, right now. Veldora, what is he doing? Well, he's doing a few things that are really impressive. For one, we have a self-sufficient art. The true art is buffing up your attack and makes it to where all Earth allies will not flinch. So that's 100% paralysis, 100% freeze res. Super art is going to ignore enemies' defense by 100% for 25 seconds, and you're buffing up all humans, dragons, and demon unit damage by 200%. Also, another thing to mention too is that with this animation on the super art, this isn't actually said anywhere in the kit. Once he activates this, you cannot stop Veldora. If he gets frozen, if he gets paralyzed, anything like that, it doesn't stop this animation. This animation keeps playing and will do damage and all that type of stuff because he transforms into like a whole different thing, and it's like it has to play through. His main passive, Storm Dragon, is going to be able to heal everybody's HP by 100%, and you will also increase all allies' arc gauge by 100 when you are near death. Unfortunately, there's no way for Veldora to force this passive because of his equips, but it's good whenever he eventually does like get near death. You just get that instant heal. Another thing is too is that he does actually have the damage boost passive that a lot of other characters have, like for example Delta. This is a massive buff to his damage, considering that the more attack you have, the more damage percentage is going to be converted into, and since he buffs up his own attack by 200% along with all other allies on his team, you can imagine he's going to be hitting ridiculously hard. He also has Earth BE output, which is kind of just a whatever passive. Now, is Veldora the best unit from this crossover? If you ask me, yes, absolutely. But in reality, no, he's not. Veldora is doing a lot for his team, and also Veldora is doing quite a bit, but he's not doing something that's like meta breaking or like game changing. If you compare this guy to the last parts release with Samurai Rimuru is just leagues ahead of this man Veldora. The main draw to Veldora is not just like the defense ignore, the damage up, the attack buff on the true art, the arc gauge buff on the art, it's not any of this. His main draw is the fact that this man is a dragon. This is the first dragon character we have seen in God knows how long, and he is the first dragon character that is an ascended unit. A lot of people who are summoning for this guy, including myself, are mega coping that eventually we will get more dragons, and Veldora is going to be part of a like dragon team to an extent, because we know it's going to happen. We know we're going to get more races eventually, but it's just how much are they going to focus on dragons, right? The main issue with Veldora is that in harder content, like in-game, it may be a bit difficult to slot this guy in at times, just because he's only giving you that damage buff and defense ignore. However, one thing that is a huge plus for this man Veldora is that since he is a dragon, in any kind of fight that we've seen recently, that is, hey, humans, gods, and demons get like mega countered here, Veldora just completely ignores that mechanic. We saw this a lot when we had the Shadow crossover, right? A lot of characters from that were spirits, and in those fights, they didn't even get affected by any single one of those nasty mechanics. Veldora is the same way since he is a very unique race type, being a dragon. Now, Shizu is going to be a fire human, and this girl is all about buffing up her magic damage along with her allies' magic damage, and she has a massive fire res on that super art. Her unique passive is that at the start of battle, so this is every single stage transition, you reduce the enemy's burn res by 50% for 120 seconds. That is pretty massive. 2 minutes of just having 50% burn res down is really good, considering her entire gimmick is that she needs to burn the boss in order to actually get that massive fire res down on them. I kind of hate the super art itself doesn't burn. You have to use the art in order to get that burn off, and then once you do, you're able to go into the super art. At least the super art is offering you something more than just fire res down. You are getting 60 arc gauge to the entire team if everyone is above 80% HP. A little strange as to why we have a burst of art shin that has a condition. I think that's the first time we've ever seen that. She can help herself out when it comes to actually giving herself more arts by burning herself. So if you have Relic Vulcans or something else that is able to inflict a burn onto you, she will gain 4 arts per second because she has like the Spirit of Ifrit or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I know my lore just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. You guys already know how I feel about burn units or just status effect characters in general. For the most part, they're not ever really used. And I feel like this character will kind of fall into the same area. Now, I will say that she is going to be used in certain content. content where she can get away with like burning the boss, or you inflicting a burn on the boss with like equips or something, and then going into that super art, it's going to allow you to brute force some of the hardest content in the game. I will not lie about that. That fire res down is massive. You use someone like Sunraku or someone else on the team, and yeah, the boss is getting absolutely melted just because of Shizu. A lot of bosses, vast majority of them, are going to be pretty much immune or have so much fire res on them. You're going to have to literally dedicate all of your equips to lowering fire res to actually be able to do that. And some people may be like, oh, you know, that's worth it. It's crazy fire res. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what type of equips you all have, but this is all the equips I have to lower burn res. I don't think we're making it out of this one. How many burn res equips do you think are in the game? Definitely, there's going to be some content where she's going to absolutely seem like one of the best units in the game. And there's going to be a lot of content where she's going to really struggle because she needs to inflict that burn to really be extremely potent. But during those pieces of content, you know, you can access other parts of her kit that are going to really shine. So it's not like you being resistant to burns completely turns off her kit. It's just if she can burn, she gets exponentially better. So now time for the verdict of this banner. Should you summon on it or should you skip? Let's start with the brand new peeps first before we go any further. If you're brand new, I would actually say that summoning on this banner doesn't give you as much value as summoning on the original Part 1 banner. The original Part 1 banner with Samurai Rimuru and Shuna has so much. You have 2 Archdinners on one banner, plus you have an Archdinner that is able to kind of function as a DPS unit. Well, Shuna is able to stack Archdin with Samurai Rimuru, so that means that these two can kind of be like your foundation, right? Your pillars when it comes to most of your teams for the foreseeable future until you get other Archdinners at your disposal. Shizu is definitely going to be really good just to buff up magic damage and fire res and all that type of stuff. And then even though I love my King Veldora, as a newer player, he's not really going to be able to hard carry you throughout the entire game. However, he will still help you if you did pick him up. The main thing, though, is that if you pick up Veldora or Shizu as a new player, you're pretty much just getting very solid units. You're not going to get people that's going to hard carry your account, but both of them are really solid. I personally would prefer Veldora, and that's not me being super biased. He is a defense ignore buffer, which isn't as good as crit buffing. I will say that, because crit buffing gives you like the additional multipliers and stuff like that. However, it never gets countered. Defense ignore does not get countered in this game. You will never see a boss that says resist defense ignore. It doesn't happen. You will see bosses be crit immune or resist crits. Now for all my vets, this is definitely a banner that really benefits us, or like even the intermediate players, right? I'm just going to include all you guys right here. There's a lot of fun stuff we can do with these units. Very much just, hey, you get these guys, you're going to be having a good time. You're going to be able to mess around with them, team build, try out a bunch of different compositions, and see what you like yourself. If you are someone that is coping for the dragon team in the future, Veldora could be possibly one of the main units on that team. And if that's the case, I want to make sure I have him because I don't know if Tensura is coming back. It could still be when Tensura comes back at least once a year because it seems like that's kind of the schedule we're on. Who knows, though, if that's actually true this year. 2025, I feel like it's going to change a lot of stuff with GS, and this may be one of the things. Shizu is another character that a lot of you guys have been maybe looking out for, especially if you guys have been paying attention to a lot of the crest farming, because this character is actually OD in one of the Nova Crest Palaces, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but I remember seeing leaderboards, and she was the best character to clear it like the fastest. That was one of the pieces of content that I was talking about earlier, where she's going like really shining because she doesn't get countered at all. The main takeaway from part 2 is that these are just 2 really solid units. But you all tell me down below, are you summoning on this banner? Are you skipping it? What's the deal? If you are interested in seeing some summons though, I will be live streaming my Veldora summons tomorrow at 12 p.m. CST. So make sure you're there because we're going to be going crazy on that banner. Also, if you enjoyed this video, have me check out this video popping on the screen right now. It's talking about the newest crossover that came out to GSJP. So if you're interested in that, may want to check it out. Oh, and one more thing before you leave, don't forget to drink water.